Welcome back and thank you for staying with us on KTV Primetime News. If you're just joining us, we're streaming live this broadcast on our social media platforms on Facebook, KTV Kenya, on Twitter, KTV_Kenya, on YouTube, KTV Kenya Live. Of course, it's time for the discussion, elections and the petition. If you might be having questions for my guest, tell me in the comment section. I'll be able to read them out to them. Now, voting officially closed in the 8 electoral areas holding the mini elections today after the electoral agency suspended the polls following a mix-up of ballot materials during the August 9th general elections. The gist of the discussion is the presidential election petition. The pre-trial conference in the petition challenging President-Elect William Ruto's win is set for tomorrow, with the ruling set to be delivered on September 5. What are the possibilities of all this? Joining me for the discussion is Dancun, Ngugi and Moses Omwenga, both seasoned political analysts. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for dedicating your time for this discussion. All right, and of course, maybe let us just start it on a light note of the elections, the mini elections that are being conducted in the 8 electoral regions, of course, in different constituencies, and the 2 counties of Kakamega and Mombasa. Now, the first thing that comes into mind when we talk about these elections, because in the petition that were filed at the Supreme Court, Moses Omwenga, there were allegations from the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya team saying that the errors that were witnessed in these elections were a plot by the Electoral Commission to weaken the Azimio camp, as they considered these 2 counties of Kakamega and Mombasa as their strongholds. What do you make of all this?
First of all, as Azimio team, we complained about the Electoral Commission way far, even before the elections were held. We kept on saying that we were not assured if the commission was prepared to hold a credible election. And people kept on taking this as a joke. But we also, that on the day of the 1 day before the election, when they were preparing the ballot papers, is when they realized that there were some errors, and that the 8 electoral areas could not conduct their elections.
Yes.
And the Kenyan election is one of the most expensive elections in the world. And voters need value for their money, because this is taxpayers' money. So these errors, according to us in Azimio, these errors were not accidental. They were intentional errors, because how comes that these 2, let's say these 2 electoral constituencies of Mombasa and Kakamega, which are Azimio strongholds, are the ones that were affected? How comes Rongai, which is also another constituency where the Kenya Kwanza has interests in, because they wanted to remove the Moi family? How comes that Rongai, again, has those errors? These errors were not accidental, they were intentional. And Chebukati has been speaking the same language as Ruto. So as Azimio, we kept on complaining about Chebukati and IEBC way before the election. And what we were saying has come to be true.
All right.
We have been vindicated.
All right. Now, I don't know, Moses Omwenga, rather Dancun, what do you make of, the way Omwenga is bringing it out? You might side with him, of course. You might also want to disagree with him, but of course we know that at times we disagree to agree. I don't know now, what is your point on this? What stance are you taking? Are you going to disagree to agree with him, or you are going to disagree completely with him?
Thank you very much, Mondi, for this opportunity again. I remember when we met last time, we were having masks all over, so we really have a lot to thank. We have God to thank for that. And thank you for the question. I beg to completely disagree because with my comrade Omwenga, because Azimio has proven to have very these characters who are they've taken the character of always complaining, always complaining, always complaining, whether something good is done or whether something bad. First of all, if we start with by looking at IEBC, IEBC needs to be given a thumbs up, because if I look back at even the times of the commission of Kivuitu, and coming over to Isaac Hassan, and then to the embattled Chebukati, it has been a big improvement. For the first time, they had complained that the servers were not going to be opened. The servers were not opened, and for this time, Chebukati did the thing and decided, okay, you guys, you said the server is not open, so here are the results. We're going to put them straight forward to so that you can download them. Some people have joked in a way that you download music just on the website. So this is among the elections that even electoral observers have really come out and commended the job that has been done by IEBC, and I back them. And having to say, saying that the papers, the ballot papers were not, it's that it was a plot. You know, something that I think he might not know is that the IEBC cannot open the ballot papers to verify after even after they come from where they are printed. They have to only be opened on that last day. Just as exams are opened, as we see how they are opened, they just have to be opened that last day.
But IEBC
right. Actually, Dan, I thought we were going to disagree to agree in this, but I mean, the way you're articulating this, because we are saying that, you're saying rather that Azimio, normally they complain on everything when something good is done. They complain when something good is done, when something bad is done, they complain. But if these complaints were not lodged, would we have had some of the changes? You've said that the electoral agency IBC should be given thumbs up because they tried their level best to give us a credible election. The servers were open to everyone. I think these could be the results of the complaints of Azimio, or was it that it was just supposed to happen in these 2022 elections, right? Now, the other thing is, Omwenga talked of the value for money, because he's saying that elections in Kenyan elections are among the most expensive elections in the world.
Which I agree.
We saw the commissioners of IBC when they gave the tender to the company that was supposed to print the ballot materials. They always went there to make sure that everything is done as they wanted. I mean, you give someone a tender, you just don't give someone a tender, now do me this, and then you'll just deliver. You know, elections, general elections, Kenyans wait for these elections for 5 years, you know. They are supposed to do their due diligence, go and verify. Now, this is what we want. Are you delivering exactly what we want? Because you give someone a tender, I mean, you'd say, I want you to do for me this, and you have to assess, because it's a process. Elections is not just an occurrence, it is a process.
Yes.
So these commissioners that were being sent to go and check what the company that had procured this tender, doing all this, yeah? So at this point, I don't know, will you also disagree to agree, or you could continue to disagree completely? Dancun.
One, I agree that Kenyan elections are among the most expensive elections. Actually, that is very, very true. That part I agree to agree, right? Yes, but the part that I want to maybe differ is the fact that also Azimio is coming out right now to fault the tender awardment, and which they had done earlier. They had tried to do it earlier, but they came to the conclusion that it was done lawfully. The companies that do the printing of ballot papers, they it's called open tender technique or method, where they all submit, or we can do this. This is what we have done in the past. this is what we have done. We have done in the past. This is what we can do, and this is what we can do for you. These are our safety features, and the commission then looks at everything that they have presented and awards the best of the best, or the one that they feel is the best. Now, if you are a good company and you have not submitted your papers for consideration, then you cannot be selected in an open tender method. That is it. I think also on that I would want to comment on the integrity chapter 6 of the constitution, and having the most expensive elections and still not yet coming to an amicable end, for me boils down to one thing. We really have a lot of mistrust, and I'm not getting the real word to use there in terms of people don't trust each other. There is a lot of distrust. Yes, we can owe it to things that have happened in the past, but in terms of these elections and everything that has been implemented and what the people who have always petitioned, you can have a look at Khalifa and the rest who have, Raila Odinga also has always been in a lot of these petitions. Yes, they have helped the IEBC realize some of it, but it is sometimes good to agree that yes, most of what we have always been presenting, this time you did follow it. You did try to do it, and in fact, not only try, you did it, because I believe what transpired in IEBC was a little bit unfortunate. When there was the 4 commissioners dissenting, and the older, we call them the old boys, remaining to be following what the chairman is saying. So basically, integrity boils down to be a real issue, and that is why our elections will continue being expensive until when we will uphold the integrity.
Well, you've well articulated that we're having, of course, issues of integrity in the elections. They have come out clearly in this petition. Of course, when Azimio la Umoja One Kenya filed their petition at the Supreme Court, we have seen the affidavits and the submissions that have been made by the respondents, and raising a lot of questions and a lot of issues that Kenyans really didn't know. Now, Moses Omwenga, from this petition, I want us to we'll give IBC time to collect the results and give us the winners. We don't delve much into these mini elections, but let's focus on the bigger picture of the election. Of course, the petition, a lot of issues have emerged, a lot of issues have emerged, and a lot of things that really we didn't know as a country, because we expected, Kenyans all anticipating free, fair and credible elections, with all the things that have happened in these elections, all the things that have emerged from these elections. What do you feel will be the most fairest thing to do for the jurists, the lawyers, and probably the judges who will be giving the verdict on this petition?
Okay, the election is not a one-day event. The election is a process.
Right.
And it's a process that must conform with the law. The election must not be a process to favor one side or anyone. The process must favor the law. So the law should be followed to the utmost in conducting the election, from the first step to the last step. And anywhere where the law is not followed creates a gap for nullification. And so the jurists will look one by one into the evidence produced by Azimio. And we have issues such as the public portal that was created by IEBC. The questions the jurists should be asking is, was the public portal safe from being accessed by foreigners who are not IEBC staff? Was it safe? Because that is not a portal, first of all. It's not a server. It's a portal.
Right.
That is not a server. It's a portal. And was the portal safe from being accessed by foreigners who are not IEBC officials. So if the portal was not safe, and people might have accessed it and infiltrated the documents that are in there, this creates some suspicion and brings it to light that the election was not fair. We have also other matters like the last constituencies that were not announced, were not collated by IEBC. And we also have the issue of the commissioners. Should IEBC work as a commission? Or is IEBC an individual entity? Because we saw Chebukati give the results alone, saying that his other officials were hurt, and we also had the other 4 commissioners give a speech in Serena Hotel that day.
So we have the results, yes.
So yeah, say that the results were Chebukati's. They disowned the result. So the jurists also have a duty to tell Kenyans what is the role of the other commissioners.
Right.
And that's why they are 7, like the judges. So if some of the commissioners disagree, then what they are bringing into light should have value in the table of discussion, because even if the judges at the Supreme Court decide that 4 will be will say that the election was not free and fair, it will be nullified.
Right.
But if they all agree as unison, then means that the election was free and fair. That is the same thing that should happen to the IEBC. A commission, there is no day a commission will ever be a single person. A commission must consist of people. So according to me, the jurists should look into the evidence that has been given and scrutinize it deeply, and I'm sure that they will find grounds for nullification of this case, because the election was not conducted in full conformity with the law.
Dancun, seeing of course you want to give a rejoinder on this, but one thing that is ahead of us, and it's the reality of course in the country concerning the elections. A lot of issues have emerged from the affidavits that have been filed in the Supreme Court, the submissions that have been made by the respondents that were in that petition. We have seen a number of issues emerging, and not only from the Azimio side, the claims that they are making. We have seen the comebacks from the petitioners. They are saying that Azimio did this and they intended to do this. Of course, we have seen a number of issues, but the Kenya Kwanza team has always been at the forefront, saying that ODM leader Raila Odinga is a perennial loser, and for the first time he should accept the results and move on. The number of issues that have emerged from these elections, is it rightful for Kenyans to accept the results and move on?
Thank you. I appreciate the fact that Raila has really helped in shaping the IEBC, and for that purpose, all these petitions are really good because they help in shaping the electoral body. However, most of the allegations or what the matters arising in the sworn affidavits which have been tabled, some matters are I don't want to call them preposterous, but I saw one which was saying that the portal or the system which was displaying the results had been hacked in a record 8 minutes, in a record of 8 minutes, and 46,000 forms updated. I think that is almost in fact it is impossible, but yes, that will leave the able judges to with the help of course of the amicus curiae, who will be the friends of the court, because definitely the judges cannot be experts in everything. What I expect to be done is that the courts will organize the evidences that have been tabled to them, organize them into those which more or less are more alike and fall into one group, and then organize the petitioners, because you will find that someone like Raila Odinga is appearing as a petitioner and is also a respondent. Yes, and but he will. I think the court will organize in a way that he finds himself into the petitioner side, in as much as he is also a respondent. But they will organize them that way for matters of coming up with a reasonable judgment. And also there was something I wanted to weigh in on matters of the dissenting, the four commissioners who are dissenting. So this is what that I wanted to say. The fact that IEBC is just a microphone. It is a microphone that amplifies what the people have said. It is not a matter of the commissioners sitting down and deciding that, no, we don't like what we have tallied there down, and therefore we think that because one being announced will cause chaos and the other one being announced will not cause chaos, so force a runoff just because they don't like what is down there. The IEBC is just a microphone. So whatever the chairman announced being the final, and you know, from when the chairman announces anything that is does not agree with that now becomes a petition, because already now there is a president-elect. Yeah, also
now Duncan, probably just to cut you on that, Dr. William Ruto has said that the commissioners, the IEBC commissioners, were wrongly sued in this petition, because we have seen the petition that was filed by the Azimio camp. It was named the other commissioners, the IEBC commissioners, 7 of them as respondents in this petition. And Ruto is saying that the commissioners should be excluded from this petition. They were wrongly sued, and he says at a point that he feels, rather his lawyers are saying that inclusion of these commissioners in the petition, because we understand that 4 of them disowned the results. Now, therefore, they are at loggerheads with the chairman of Fula Chebukati, and now the legal team of the Kenya Kwanza is saying that this will deny Dr. William Ruto a free and fair trial in this. But you see, the composition of this IBC commission, like Omwenga has just told us, the Supreme Court is also comprised of 7 judges, and the 7 judgment, they're supposed to all of them are supposed to weigh in, and they probably agree on something, and mostly what passes is what the majority has agreed to. So why should we have a difference in the election when we have the commission that is having the electoral agency that is having 7 commissioners? Why should we have a difference here? Just answer the exact question.
Why should we have a difference? I think it boils down to who appointed these commissioners and why. I'll not sugarcoat because you said time. It boils down to why these commissioners were brought and who appointed them and why. Because it seems clearly that they had a mission. Why would the older commissioners, the 3 who have been there from a longer time, for a longer time, why should they be agreeing while commissioners who just came the other day, all 4 of them, they dissent to everything, and they do not dissent from the start, they only dissent at the final, and not dissent giving good reasons. They only hold a press conference giving with matters of such weight. You cannot dissent and not give reasons and leave Kenyans in a limbo that what you're being told there is not true, and you're not giving why, the reasons why. You're giving them, you're telling them that now we will give you a report tomorrow.
All right. Omwenga, I don't know, you'll also pick it from that point. I mean, the way Duncan is putting it out, I mean, the 4 commissioners gave reasons that at the very beginning they were all sailing in one boat, but at the tail of this process they were seeing a bit of changes here and there. But in a rejoinder, how do you want to respond to what Duncan is saying on this?
The 4 commissioners said that they were not involved in the final tallying of almost 27 constituencies. those results Chebukati tallied alone. And those results were mostly from Azimio strongholds, mostly from the coast region and the northeastern and some from western. Those results were not tallied by the commission, but by Chebukati as an individual. And that is why the 4 commissioners disowned the results, the final results, because they were not involved in the fully collation of all the results of the 290 constituencies. And Chebukati also was a man on a mission. As my friend here Dan has said that the 4 commissioners were on a mission, Chebukati was also a man on a mission. And it looked clear from the start that Chebukati was on a mission and didn't want to announce anything else other than Ruto. This is why they could not agree. Even the other 2 commissioners, I doubt that they had been hurt. I doubt that they had been hurt when Chebukati was announcing the results. Chebukati was a man on a mission, and that is why we as Azimio complained from the very beginning, even before the election. And every time we kept on complaining, Ruto kept on defending Chebukati. And it is clear that right now, Chebukati is speaking the same language with Ruto, because anytime even the Azimio leader says anything, IEBC answers back. It's like IEBC is competing with Raila Odinga. And it's not, we cannot say that the election can be fair when the commissioners have taken side. So it's said that the 3 commissioners are said to have done the wrong thing, or the other 4 commissioners also are said to have done the wrong thing. Someone, the 3 versus the 4, there are those who must be right and there are those who must be wrong.
All right. Dancun, because you really seem to be defending the Kenya Kwanza camp, and of course probably you'll also defend strongly the commissioners that stood with the chairman of Wafula Chebukati, that is Gulie and Boya Molu. Now, just pressure that was given by the Raphael Tuju, who was the former leader, of course, in the Jubilee Party, the allegations that he made, and we saw these commissioners also responding, right? They were responding, of course, to the allegations that were made by Raphael Tuju that, Raphael Tuju, you came here, you wanted this and this to be done. And then, of course, Tuju was also saying that these commissioners went to his house at don't know what time and everything. A lot of issues really emerging, because if this petition was not there, meaning this election, if everyone was to accept and move on, these things would have passed without Kenyans knowing. So do you think Kenyans are doing the right thing? Rather, do you think Azimio did the right thing for raising the red flag?
Yes, I think they did the right thing. Because if you are not satisfied, it is in their legal mandate, or in their legal, they have a legal way to go about something they are not happy about, and it is a good way. It is in a democratic society or a country, that is what you do. What is important to note is the fact that these people are calling press conferences, the Azimio side that is, they are calling press conferences to answer back on things that are appearing on sworn affidavits. Why do you need to call press conferences to answer to things that have been on sworn affidavits instead of waiting for the court and following the channel of the court? And that is what they have always been doing, calling press conferences. Even when they knew they were losing, they called a conference on KICC and started calling names to show that they have numbers, just to push so that it can be seen, because they knew they had people on the inside who are on a mission.
Okay, but just because we now need to wind up this, what do you feel is the right thing to be done? A lot of issues have emerged. Should Ruto be declared the president-elect and everything moves on, we forget about everything that has emerged in these elections, or rather, should the elections be nullified, we have a fresh poll? Dancun.
Sorry?
from everything that has emerged, just as we wind up, give me a direct response.
Yes.
From everything that has emerged in this election, what do you feel is right? Should Ruto be declared the president when the president-elect as he is sworn in, and the country forgets about everything that has happened? The country moves on. We will be going for another election in 2027 with these issues not addressed, or it should be nullified and all these issues rectified. We have a fresh, credible election.
What should be or should not be done, I would leave that to the court.
All right.
However, what I know is that this country needs to move forward because people don't have food on their table. People
Right.
need to make money so that they can take their children to
All
school.
right, thank you. Omwenga, as we wind up, what do you feel is the right thing to be done? A lot of issues have emerged with this election. Should Kenyans forget about it? Kenyans focus on putting food on their table. We go with them, we move with all these ill issues to the 2027 elections, raising the question of democracy and credibility of the choices that Kenyans are making on the ballot. What's your take?
What should be done is that these elections, there should be an investigation to be done to see if the elections followed the law, and whoever won in the free and fair election, in the credible election, in the real numbers,
Right.
should be declared the winner.
All right.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming. We shall be carrying on this discussion, probably, of course, as we wait for the determination of this petition that shall be done by the members of the highest court, the judge, the 7-judge bench chaired by Martha Koome. They shall be rendering their verdict on the 5th of September. We shall be having more of these conversations. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming. And with that, we shall be taking a very short break. Shall we come on more? See us.